Greetings everybody, this is me going through a rather large pile of sticker books that I found in my parents' loft, and we're going to start with the oldest of these, Football 78, collected by my father, obviously, as due to medical reasons I wasn't able to collect stickers at the age of about 18 months, and it's falling to bits, and yes, he's in bits, but nevertheless we'll persevere on. We start with Arsenal for alphabetical reasons. Very young Pat Rice. Actually, everyone's very young. I'm going to stop. I'm not going to keep saying very young because everyone's bloody young here that we know. Sammy Nelson became famous for rigging the bent FA Cup draw a few years ago. I strongly recommend you YouTube that. It's unbelievable. Malky McDonald there, Frank Stapleton, Graham Ricks. Don't let him take the penalties. Bruce Rioch up there, I think. Is that Bruce Rioch? I don't know. I can't see. That's Trevor Ross, whoever Trevor Ross is. Villa now, Ron Saunders Villa. Jimmy Rimmer in goal, Johnny Gidman there. Yes, Gordon Smith, played for Brighton, I think. Brian Little balancing a dead dog on his head, by the looks of it. Andy Gray also, with an awful lot of hair. It was obviously in vogue to have a ridiculous amount of hair in these days. Dennis Mortimer up there, and Birmingham now, so just across the city. And talking of incredible hair, we are about to see Sir Alf, manager there, Birmingham there, sorry. And talking of an incredible amount of hair, look at Tony Want there. That's an amazing Barnet. Yes, I don't know how he stood it quite. It was obviously in vogue, but looks bloody ridiculous now. And very young Trevor Francis. I'm saying very young again. Stop it, man. Trevor Francis there. And Howard Kendall must have been right at the end of his playing days because he was managing Everton within about 3 or 4 years of this. Bristol City, once fashionable, once a fairly decent side. Bites your legs Hunter there. Again, too much hair everywhere. They can't have had too many seasons up in the top flight around then, I don't think, because no one really remembers them with any real affection. Paul Cheesley, now there's an interesting name. Not a good one. Chelsea, now. Again, no money, not supported by anyone who didn't live within 5 miles of the shed. Back in those days. Stevie Wicks there, and Mickey Droy. Dad always said he's one of the worst centre halves he's ever seen, but I'll have to take his word for that. Because I've not seen too much of him. I've seen plenty of Ray Wilkins though. There he is, with hair. Never mind too much hair, with hair. Yes, Kenny Swain, Ray Lewington there, Roy Hodgson's current #1. And that's Brian Basin there. I think that chap who's next to Ray Lewington. I'm trying to think of a sync-related pun off the top of my head, but can't. Coventry, very fetching kit. Mick Co-op. Oh, no, Coop, yes. Bit of advertising there. It's not a plug. This isn't the one show. Yes, this rather dashing Coventry, and Terry Yorath there. Gabby's dad, Gabby Logan's dad, and Tommy Hutch scored the own goal in the 80 Cup final. Derby County with Tommy Docherty in charge. Colin Todd down there. Roy McFarland. There's Colin Todd, and David Nish next to him. And it's really hard to see. Archie Gemmell, there you go. It's really quite hard to see these some of these names on here. I filmed it one day and narrated it the next because the sound was crap. So I'm actually struggling to see my own film here. So you will have to bear with. Leighton James, there's a sort of name you don't see in a football sticker book these days. Everton, late 70s Everton. Gordon Lee in charge. Georgie Wood in goal. And Mike Pejic, and yes, Terry Darracott. He was second to Colin Harvey, and Dave Jones there. Dave Jones smiling. That's quite unnerving. Loads of hair again. Jim Pearson. There's Bruce Rioch. There's Bruce. Andy King. And yes, bad Barnet there, Martin Dobson. Shocking. Dave Thomas, no idea. Duncan McKenzie, was he the chap who could jump over a car? I think he became famous for being able to jump over a car. Rather bizarre. Ronnie Goodlass and Bob Latchford, far too handsome to be a footballer. Especially then, anyway. Ipswich, Sir Bobby Robson. In charge, Paul Cooper in goal. George Burley. A lot of these are just known as managers now, and unless you're as old as me, and then you do vaguely remember them playing. Mick Mills. Kevin Beattie. I bumped into Kevin Beattie in the toilets at Villa Park once. That's a bit of information for you there. Brian Talbot. John Walk without the trademark tash. Roger Osborne scored the winning goal in the '78 Cup final and then claimed he never felt quite so ill. I love that story. Scoring a winning cup final goal and then feeling horrendously ill. That's truly awful. Rotten bit of luck. Leeds United, the most boring badge ever. The late '70s Leeds badge. David Stewart in goal. Fantastic sideburns. Unbelievable face furniture there. And Frankie Gray and Gordon McQueen there. Just there, and Trevor Cherry next to him. There's an awful lot of Trevors around in the late '70s. It was a lot of footballing Trevors anyway. Don't get many of them now. Whether it's got anything to do with football or not, I very much doubt it. Arthur Graham there. Tony Curry should have played more for England, according to Dad. Played about 20 games for England and was overlooked in favour of Sideways Wilkins an awful lot. Eddie Gray, Alan Clark, Joe Jordan there. This would have been a pretty strong side at the time, I'm sure. Leicester City, Frank McClintock having a brief foray into management. Mark Wallington played hundreds of games for him in goal. Jeff Buckley, not to be confused with that Jeff Buckley. Hallelujah. Eddie Kelly there, and who is? Oh God, this is bloody awful. I can hardly read these. Lammy Robertson, what a great name. Presumably Lambert, one of the Scotland surname clan. All-conquering late '70s Liverpool. Bob Paisley, Ray Clements, Phil Neal, Phil Thompson down there, Joey Jones, Emlyn Hughes, Crazy Horse himself, Tommy Smith, hard man, so they say. And up the top, Terry McDermott, Ray Kennedy, Ian Callaghan, Jimmy Case, Kenny Dalglish, King Kenny. Whether you like Liverpool or not, it's hard not to tip your hat to that man. David Fairclough, super sub with his ginger mop. John Toshak spent his whole career setting up goals for other people and has spent his whole post-playing career managing and getting sacked from Wales. Man City again, late '70s, past their best. Tony Book, Dad, it's Tony Book, Dad's favourite. Kenny Clements played hundreds and hundreds of games there. Yeah, struggling to read all these names still. Asa Hartford, Mike Shannon up there. Paul Power next to him, he went and played for Everton in the '80s. Gary Owen played for us for a bit, but then again, who didn't? Dennis Stewart, hard man. Joe Royal there, and Brian Kidd, of course, now the second in command there, I believe. And United, Man United, Dave Sexton still hanging on for dear life. In the late '70s, Stepney in goal, Jimmy Nichol, Arthur Albiston, and Martin Buchan. Stuart Houston, he was at Arsenal and Tottenham in coaching / managerial roles. Brian Greenoff, Lou Macari, Sammy McElroy, Steve Coppell, Jimmy Greenoff there. A bit of trivia there. There was a trivia question going around when three pairs of brothers to have played for Man United. Gordon Hill. There's David McCreary. It was the Greenoffs, the Nevilles, and I can't remember the other one. I need Nick Rolls to tell me the other one. Middlesbrough now. Very little of interest happening in Middlesbrough land, apart from Graham Souness sporting a refugee beard. Yes, not very much happening at all. I'm spending an awful lot of time focusing on Graham Souness, which is, oh dear, he's a mad bugger, doesn't he? John Mahoney, David Armstrong with hair, not very often seen. Yes, it's just spending an awful amount of time on Middlesbrough here without any obvious reason why. Sheepskin coat alert at Newcastle. Yes, managers in bad coats. There's still a legacy left over from Malcolm Allison. Oh, there's a name for you. What's that? Irving Natras. Irving Natras. That's fantastic. Exotic name. Again, probably not as exotic as his name sounds. Tommy Craig Graham Oates. Whoever he is. Oh, hair, Paul Cannell, dearie me. Alan Gowling looks an awful lot like Ian Lachlan, who used to present Finger Mouse on children's BBC. Just an observation there. That's it for Newcastle. Norwich now. John Bonds, Norwich. We've got here Mel Machin there. A few names that sort of leap off the page at you. Not many at Norwich. Martin Peters. If you think he was in the '66 World Cup winning side and he's still playing in '78, yeah, he must have been coming right to the end of his career, I would think. You got these little info bits in the middle of the page there, telling you about their age. Colin Suggett there in the corner. Roger Gibbons, lovely name. Viv Busby. Didn't he have mad hair, Viv Busby? Later, I think he had this huge, big, I think, massive hair. I think I've got the right fella. Forrest, Cloughie in charge as ever. Bit of a fixture there. Mr. Shilton in goal, my favourite goalkeeper ever, hands down. Viv Anderson, complete with afro. Loved him when he played for us, Viv Anderson. Larry Lloyd, great name, doesn't sound like a real name, sounds like a variety star in the 40s. Frank Clark in the corner there, not smiling, was on very, very briefly. Martin O'Neill, looking rather dashing, possibly. Terry Curran, again, another Wednesday ledge. And Peter With in the corner there. Barry Butlin, not to be confused with Billy. Barry Butlin. There you go. And Peter With in the corner there. Villa legend. Fantastic player. QPR, a la late 70s, really making headway around this sort of time. Very exciting side, so they tell me. Frank Sibley in charge. Phil Parks, Dave Clement, and David Webb there, Chelsea player in before that. This was been after his Chelsea days. Went back and managed them. John Hollins, one of the few people to have played for QPR and to have fathered a Strictly Come Dancing winner. And Stanley Bowles. Was it Tommy Docherty said, if only he could pass a betting shop like he could pass a ball. And West Brom, a serious leap from QPR to West Brom there, so that's an awful lot of big teams not in the top flight. No Southampton or Spurs, obviously. West Brom now, incredibly youthful looking Brian Robson. Whether that was before everyone kept harping on about how fantastic he was, I don't know. Derek Statham played at Southampton later on. Len Cantello, one of the greatest named players ever. I just love that name, Len Cantello. I don't know why. It's just a great name. Scored an amazing goal that I've seen on Match of the Day archives a few times. Tony Brown and Ali Brown. Don't know whether they were related. Possibly not. Brown's a fairly common surname. Laurie Cunningham, God rest him there. And I'd have to do an awful lot of God rest hymns. That's a bit sad. John Lyle, there's another one, another bad coat. Mervyn Day played in goal everywhere, and Anton Otulakowski. Very, very exotic sounding name. Where was he from for the time? Born in Barnsley. There you go. Yes. Frank Lampard, father of Frank Lampard, with his Kirk Douglas beard. Yes. And Trevor Brooking, synonymous with West Ham. That's my big word for the day. Alan Kirbishley there. Billy Bonds again, one club man. And Jeff Pike looks about 12 there. I think he grew a beard just to try and look old. Alan Taylor, Alan Devonshire, there he is again. And another Brian Robson, not to be confused with Brian Robson. Must have been almightily confusing at the time. Wolves now, managed by Sammy Chung. And Jeff Palmer, an awful lot of hair up there. Stevie Daly there, went to Man City for over £1 million and was an almighty flop. There's Jeff and his hair. And yes, Derek Parkin. There's Steve Daly again. And Kenny Hibbett, who I've also met in the Gents at Villa Park. It was, yes, quite a carnival atmosphere going on. Alan Sunderland, minus enormous afro. And Bobby Gould there. Steve Kindon. See, these names will bring warmth to fans of these clubs who remember this time. Yes, we're getting the half gold shiny sticker. So you would have got a sticker with two halves of gold badge on and a team picture. This was the start of, right, everyone's collected the teams, let's give them some more stickers to collect. There's an awful lot of London teams in there, Charlton, Palace, Fulham, Mansfield Town in there, and that load of rubbish at the bottom that we don't want to see. Orient there, before they were Leyton Orient. Spurs, yes, the dark days of the late 70s for Spurs. This is presumably before the Birkinshaw revolution. And we go on to Scotland now. Scottish players, very often the most entertaining part of the sticker book, actually, because of the names and some monstrously ugly Scottish footballers there. There's not an ugly one. There's Danny McGrain, who's, yes, God knows how many games he played for Celtic. Must have run into 600 or 700. He was there forever. And yes, I'm assuming he's got legendary status up there. Rangers, oh yes, you only got a full page of Celtic and Rangers. Everyone else was sort of in half stickers. Again, you know, you're looking at Davy Cooper and names like that. Oh, Aberdeen have got a full page as well, which is nice. Which is nice. I'm giving Aberdeen a full page. Now we get on to, no, they've only got half a page because they're shared with Ayr United. Hugh Sproat in goal for Ayr United. Fantastic name. Whoa, please focus in. Yes, good man, Willie Munro. Look at that Barnet. That's incredible. Huge hair. Enormous amount of hair. Must have taken him forever to get ready in the morning. Dundee United. Jim McLean. Alex Rennie looks a bit mental. Jim McLean managed there forever. And yes, Cardigan alert. Cardigan alert. Eddie Turnbull wearing a very tasteful Cardi there. Also overdone the Brill cream. Yes, Prince of Style. Must have been the height of Edinburgh fashion. Hibs manager, Eddie Turnbull. Motherwell, I'm not going to do the ceilings cover well gag again. I just did, never mind. This is thirsty work, this. Willie Pettigrew. Partick Thistle. John Hanson, Alan's older brother. Yes, quite whose idea the whole yellow and red stripes was. I'm not sure, but it's not a fashion grab for me. And we finish with Saint Mirren, no back cover, that's long gone. And the highlight here being a extremely young Alex Ferguson managing pre-Aberdeen days. And that's it for Football 78, people. Thank you very much indeed. I hope you've enjoyed it. Cheers.